Alright, so what do you know? Here I am, it's 2018, it's April, and lo and behold, I'm at my 4th Street garden. I had promised everybody that I was not going to be gardening here this year, that I was done with it. I'm through with these awful community gardeners, and here I am again. I can't help myself, although part of the reason is because, my husband kind of refuses to let go of the garden. Every year we have to go back and renew our $1 lease with the city to use the land. It's about 4 city lots, so technically there could be 4 houses on this property. And there's a lot of development going around in the city. So this piece of property is actually prime real estate. It really is. And for many years, people have been coming around trying to snag the property to build houses on it. And because we have a special arrangement with the city, they basically can't touch it. And every year, if we continue to renew our lease for $1, then we get to keep the land, and it gets to stay open space rather than have it built up, and then we lose the land for gardening and for open space. So my husband was pretty adamant about allowing that to continue, if for no other reason, just to keep the open space available. So I can totally agree with that, but having to contend with disagreeable gardeners is not something that I wanted to deal with. But I'm gonna try different things this year. I'm planning to put up like maybe a fence around the perimeter, because this right here, this tends to be a problem for oh my god, oh no, my bag of peas is blowing away. Yikes. Anyway, so that's nice. Whatever. So what ends up happening is that this one guy, I think he fancies himself the head gardener here. I've been here way longer than he has, but he thinks he's like the king. I mean, really, I think he thinks he's like the best and whatever. Thinks he's better than me. I don't really have any desire to make myself superior. So I kind of let him do a lot of things, that I wouldn't necessarily like. But anyway, he likes to come over here and sort of sneak buzz cut my stuff here on the edge. I don't know why. This particular thing right here really gets his goats, and every year has trouble. And I want to cut his head off, but I don't, because I'm a good Christian woman. Anyway, so this year I'm gonna try and put up a fence and see if that helps him out with keeping this guy out. And also because I really have an issue with groundhogs. It's been incredibly difficult to grow cabbages and such. Usually I have trouble over here. A couple years ago I had some collard greens over in this front here, and they didn't seem to have as much trouble, but I guess that the groundhog lives probably in this mound, I suspect. And I also have another plot over there, and that's also an issue, although it's more of an issue with two-legged varmints that like to cut off my cabbage heads. So yeah, like I said, if I put up a fence, maybe it'll keep some of the two-legged and the four-legged predators critters, varmints out, and definitely my not so nice community gardener neighbor. Anyway, I wanted to sort of report what it is I'm doing today. The weather has been so uncooperative. I'm like maybe 3 or 4 weeks behind in planting what I would like. I'd like to plant potatoes. I'd like to plant peas at the very least. And the weather's been snowing. It's been snowing at least, I think on average about twice a week since the beginning of March. We had like 4 good snowstorms in March, and then we had one. This is the 1st of April. I think it was the 1st or the 2nd of April. I mean, crazy. So, and we're supposed to have another snowstorm in a couple of days. So, I don't believe it. I never do. But then it happens, and then I'm like, what? This can't be happening for real. So hopefully they really did get it wrong, and we're not going to get snow on April the 7th, I think it is. Or is it the 9th? I think it's the 9th. I think they said Monday. Right now it's Thursday. I don't believe it, but, who can say? They've had it right so far. Anyway, so what I'm trying to tell you now is that I've been trying to plant some peas in this mound here. I actually scraped up all the chaff from all around the whole garden, and I put all this right here. I put the whole mound on this. So this is essentially my compost heap, my working compost heap, which, I don't like to have traditional compost piles because I feel like it's kind of a waste of space and a waste of, nutrients, because what happens with the compost is that when you have a pile and it's a designated spot and you kind of have it on the edge of the garden and nothing grows there except maybe weeds and shady trees or whatever, all of that stuff that's leaching out of the pile into the soil gets wasted. So what I like to do is have a composting in place set up where I'm essentially building my compost in one location at the same time allowing stuff to grow in the pile or around the pile, and so therefore those crops are benefiting from the nutrients that are leaching into the soil. So anyway, right now I'm actually what I did do right now, I planted I threw in some old potatoes that I had from last year that were sprouting, but they don't look terribly hopeful, but I still, they still have something going on. They were like super tiny and spindly, not looking very hopeful, like I said. So I just kind of threw them in there, threw them in the pile. I sort of buried them underneath. And right now I'm taking these old peas. They're not old, they're from last year. These are Wando. I had these growing in this garden last year, and they did very well. Their Wando peas are heat tolerant, so they did do very well for me last year, because I don't really get a lot of water over here. If it doesn't rain, then I'm not watering, and so it's hot and it's dry, and I've been here for about 20 years, so I've had all this year to build up the soil. But initially the soil was very poor, and it's still not as rich as I would like. So anyway, so this these peas that I'm planting as part of my plan to help enrich the soil. But anyway, like I said, I planted these last year and they did very well. So I'm hoping that they'll do well again this year. But this is sort of an experiment, of course. I'm planting the peas inside this fluffy pile of hay, essentially. And so we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that I can get I'm hoping that I can get some more seed potatoes. Oh, I gotta go to Agway. Anyway, so hopefully I can get to Agway or maybe get some seed potatoes from eBay or someplace soon, super soon, so that I can plant them. I'm probably gonna put them in this mound. You know, as the spring progresses, hopefully the hay will mat down and it'll suffocate the grasses and whatever weed seeds might be growing underneath. And the peas will grow out and they'll do well and enrich the soil and everything will be hunky-dory. So, I don't know. In the meantime, I was kind of hoping to plant some carrots, but I don't know if I'm going to get that done today. The weather is actually very cold and I'm sort of reaching my limits. There's also this crazy matted mound of blackberry brambles. These are thornless, so that's one good thing. I don't have to fight with thorns. But you know, the snow, all the snow that came down this year was very heavy snow, heavy and wet, and so the fence that was supporting this bramble here is kind of beat down a little bit, and I don't know if you can see over there. The neighbor that has a garden on that side of the fence, their fence got knocked down with the snow. So, and of course, one of my plots here, this is also something I have to contend with. So, but I'm not going to do that right now. That's not something I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking about this. I have to fix this. I guess I need to get some of these, in the same way that I had to cut out the old dead canes from the wineberries earlier this month, or I guess it actually was late in March. I gotta cut those out. That would be nice. I haven't done this in like probably 10 years, cut out the dead canes. But as you can see, the red, nice red, these are active live canes that are going to bear fruit this year. And whatever else is brown is dead, and I need to cut that out to make room so that the new canes can grow better, and I can make, I guess, a better accommodation for them. So anyway, that's what's happening out here today. Like I said, I'm not probably going to do a whole lot more. I need to get this thing with this blackberry done today, but I doubt I'm going to. Well, first of all, I didn't bring my secateurs, my hand pruners, and so I can't do that today, but I could probably pull out some of these weeds that are intertwined, old morning glory vines and such. Not looking forward to it, but anyway. So I got that done. I'm pretty sure that that's gonna succeed. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that works. Like I said, I gotta get some more potatoes, and I'd like to plant more potatoes in that mound. I have plans written down somewhere. I don't even know what it is I'm gonna plant where, but because like I said, I wanted to plant carrots. Maybe I'll plant them here. Because this here is where I had potatoes last year. This and this had potatoes, so maybe I'll just I'll turn these two beds and I'll plant my carrots here now, and maybe some beets, and then I don't have to think about it too hard. I think that's a plan. So anyway, that's it. I don't have much else to say. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that everybody is enjoying their spring better than I am. Alright, everybody take it easy.